I welcome all our viewers to this video on best ways to practice speaking daily. As I have been telling you, practice is most important. So, how will you do practice? Please remember that before you speak, you need some foundation of the language. So, the first point which I would like to mention is awareness of English. Awareness means knowing that English is being used, knowing that you are surrounded by English. You have a lot of time which you are spending with the English language. Before I go forward, let me remind you to watch the videos completely, to like, share, and comment. Many of you are writing your comments with your doubts, and you are getting replies regularly. Some of you are giving suggestions to which I am, listening and making some points, some notes, so that in future those videos will reach you. But for this, you need to be a part of this channel. Therefore, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. And having subscribed, please watch all the videos. More than 200 videos are there. So your English journey for the next 200 days is guaranteed if you watch one video per day and practice accordingly. That is what I meant by awareness. The first point I gave you is to be aware that English is being used. Even if you don't learn anything, if you watch these 200 videos back to back whenever you have time, whenever you find time, you are getting an awareness of the language. You know that it is not your mother tongue. You know that it is not a language you know. It is a language which we call English. Now, speaking English also has different standards. People who are in the south of England, because English originated in that small place which we call England. So the people in the south and people in the north have different pronunciations. London, we say London. But if you go up north in the same country, many people pronounce it as London. The oo sound comes instead of the sound. Instead of London, we get London. This kind of a difference in the own mother tongue is there in every language. Not only in English. Even in your own mother tongue, there are a great variety of languages. These are called dialects. But please remember that awareness of the language means the standard language, the standard English usage, you get exposed to that. You spend a lot of time with it. Even if you don't understand, you don't speak, you don't do anything. A person who has spent many hours increasing this awareness of the language is in a better position to speak the language. Because when you become aware means you are interacting with the language. You are taking that language in even if it doesn't make much sense. I can give you examples, If you watch television, any language, not only English, since this is a channel for learning English, I'm using it for English. Watch television constantly whenever you get time, maybe 5 hours, 10 hours of the day, you watch reels, you watch videos, maybe not on television, but on your smartphone. If all this is in English, for a person who doesn't know a word of English, if you do this for a few months, you will find that your ability to understand English is Very good. It has improved immensely. You're able to understand at least 50% of English which you're hearing. You didn't read a book, you didn't learn grammar, or you didn't refer to a dictionary, you didn't learn pronunciation, vocabulary, or punctuation. You never learnt any spellings. You did not take a book. Many of you keep asking, which book would you recommend? I would recommend the book of life. Life itself teaches you a language best. Reading a book is not good enough. You can read many books. One book is not going to be enough. If you read a book per week, suppose it's a 100-page book, you read 10 or 15 pages per day, takes you about a week to finish. Like that, every week you read books, in 6 months your English will be excellent. You will be able to speak well. But nobody wants to do that. You want to read one book only. Many youngsters read self-help books. They read just one book, How to Be Confident. Then they feel by reading that book they will become confident. It doesn't happen. Famous book is there, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Somebody read that book once and they said, now everybody will become my friend. Nothing happened. You have to practice what you see in that book. Therefore, when I'm talking to you about practicing English, reading one grammar book, reading one book of vocabulary, quick vocabulary or instant vocabulary, reading one book on pronunciation is not going to help you. That is why I said, increase your awareness. When you come across life, when you experience life every minute of each day, transfer these experiences into English. There is no part of the day when we don't have some experience or the other. Even if you're sitting quietly in your room, your thoughts are your experience. The mind is never free of thoughts. So if these thoughts get converted to English, then your awareness of the language improves. Listening, speaking, reading, writing. I have been saying this many times. These are the 4 communication development activities. If you listen and read, and if you speak and write, in listening and reading, you are building up your speaking ability. In speaking and writing, you are practicing your speaking ability. So writing is not without speaking, because when you write something, you immediately read. Whenever I write, suppose I'm writing a research article, then after writing, I read it loudly, because when my ears hear and my eyes see, I can understand it better. Is it good? It is correct. Is it correct? Does it sound like the reader wants to read it? Then am I not practicing speaking? By reading aloud, I'm practicing speaking also. This is what you need to do in order to improve your awareness. So awareness of the language tells you also what is right and what is wrong. First, when you are learning a language, you never know what is right and what is wrong. I'm telling you from the experience of learning 4 or 5 languages. Initially, we never know what is right and what is wrong. We just pick up some phrases, we pick up some expressions and some language, and we start speaking. But we don't really know. Or we start listening and understanding, but we don't really know what is right and what is wrong. That is fine. There is no problem with that. Please remember that if you do not have perfect English to start with, that is natural. It is not something which you should feel shy about. You shouldn't say, oh, I'm not able to get anything because I'm not practicing really well. That is not true. Motivation is what keeps you positive when you lose your desire to practice. So go on practicing even if it is faulty. But once you continue with your awareness, once you continue to lay the foundation of English, then you will be able to get better. Here I will give you an example. There are many videos where I have done grammar, and there are many videos where I have done vocabulary. Now, those are specific lessons. But once you have learnt a grammar rule, you go to a video where there are stories or where there is conversation. Put that item of grammar, put those rules into those passages and watch how your English improves. Suppose you have learnt preposition. Then open a conversation. Recently, I gave you a conversation, an arranged marriage. It's a long conversation. How many prepositions are used there? What noun is being joined by the preposition? To what is it being joined? Is it being joined to a verb which is intransitive? Or is it being joined to a sentence which already ends in a noun and you want to add one or two more nouns to it? So you learn the use of preposition not by listening to the video on preposition only. First listen to the video and then apply it to life. When you read a book, suppose you're reading some interesting book. I gave you the titles. I said that, authors like Agatha Christie or Arthur Conan Doyle, who write mystery stories, Sherlock Holmes or Hercule Poirot or Miss Marple. These are all names of detectives about whom these writers have written. You read 2 pages only, but in those 2 pages, you see where are the pronouns used, what kind of pronouns are used. Because you go back and watch the video on pronouns, there are some videos on pronouns where the rules are given. Now, instead of learning the rule, your awareness helps you to apply that rule when you are reading. So your reading once is not going to help you. You might start reading a novel, read it fully, you know the story. Good. Now story is out of the way. Now you read 1 page per day, finding out which is a noun, what is the noun function. There are videos on noun function also. Is it subject? Is it object? Is it possessive? What is the verb? Is it transitive? Is it intransitive? In this way, if you go forward, is it a past tense or future tense? Somebody asked me whether we should use the present tense while telling a story or a past tense while telling a story. There is no fixed tense. If you are narrating your own experience, which happened yesterday or last month or 10 years back, you use past tense. But suppose in that story or in that incident, you want to introduce that somebody is speaking to you. Then when you quote the person's exact words, you need to use present tense. So I cannot give you a rule here by saying use only past tense. Sometimes present tense is also possible. Sometimes future. When you say that the incident which you are talking about, they were somebody who were telling you about their future plans. Then the future also comes there. You can't limit yourself to the tense unless you have a context. The context is your reading or listening. Your awareness increases when you pay attention to your listening or reading properly. That is why in the first maybe 50 videos, there are only slides. You see my face is very small in size. Go back to 6, 7 months old videos. You will find that the entire thing is for you to read or listen. Because where the slide is there, I have read it out to you. So you read and you listen, your awareness increases. Because today I'm telling you the best way to speak English is to increase your awareness. That is a 1 point formula. Unless you increase your awareness, your English is not going to become better. And to increase your awareness, you have two methods, and that is listening and reading. To practice that awareness which you increased, you need to speak and write. To get it right, that is, write is WRITE. Now I'm using write, RIGHT. I gave you two videos on homophones. See how homophones are useful? Here I use the word write 2 times with 2 different meanings. But since I don't have a slide in front of me, I'm spelling it out to you because the pronunciation is exactly the same. You need to practice English by speaking and writing. Here the word write is WRITE. You write English every day. Then I also have another word, RIGHT, homophone. And that is, if you do this right, that means correctly, then you will speak better English. Your English will become best if you practice like this. Whatever you have listened to, whatever you have read, try speaking those without making mistakes. If you make mistakes, go back to the passage again, listen or read once more, because you might have made grammatical mistakes. You might have misused a word or a pronunciation. You might have also, if you're writing, misused a spelling or punctuation. I think some people want punctuation and spelling videos, so I will soon use them. But remember, for good English, you require all these 5 language skills, and you require practice through all the 4 communication skills. So 5 into 4 is 20. There are 20 ways in which you can practice English in order to become best in speaking. And for all this, the key, the one most important key word is awareness. If you learn the language mechanically, if you learn the language by memorizing, if you just learn because you want to, give it out all in an examination paper, then you will not be able to improve your speaking. Because speaking is a skill which improves only when you do it very often. If you do it only because you have learned 5 sentences, you recite those 5 sentences like a poetry. Small children learning English, they say, "Twinkle, twinkle, little star." Very famous nursery rhyme. So they learn only that much. They don't know what the word twinkle means. They don't know what the word star means. But they speak it out in beautiful pronunciation correctly. That is because they learnt it, they memorized it. We don't want that kind of speaking. We want speaking where you are able to think and speak. By listening to a passage, you put it in your own words, you think and speak. This, when you are able to do, then your English is improving. This is the best way you have in order to speak better. You want to improve your speaking on a daily basis. Not only you, but all of us would like to speak better. After speaking for many decades, we can still improve. Speaking is what you need to do. Somebody says, have online class. Somebody says, I want to pay a fee and learn from you. Please understand that I don't want any fee. I don't have time to practice with you, because if we practice, I will speak and you will listen and you will not speak. Therefore, I'm giving you these videos for you to speak. You can speak on your own. You can gather few friends and speak with them. Just now I was told that 10 young girls are practicing using the conversation videos. The arranged marriage is a role play. You can use it. And in this way, this is the best method you can use. Your awareness of the language, your practice of the language, you're using the language very often. So please do all these things. I wish you all the best and thank you.